All right, guys, welcome. Thank you for jumping on. So I wanted to share a little thought with you guys. The book I'm listening to right now is The Miracle Equation by Hal Elrod. And I hadn't, there's a billion on my list and I had a ton. I kept hearing people say, this one's so good, this one's so good. And so I'm like, whatever, I just have to go with this one because I just finished The Miracle Morning. I was in a Hal Elrod state still. So I really, really love it. And he talks about how all of us have limitless potential. And we've heard this many times. But all of us have all this untapped potential that that only the most successful people learn how to tap into it. And he said there's two things you need to do. You need to have the belief and you have to be willing to put in the effort. And those two things are what like Michael Jordan and Steve Jobs and all the other really successful people have figured out how to do. And he gives you these like affirmations and different ways to tap into that belief. And that's something I know a lot of us struggle with. I still struggle with it all the time. So one of the things he did, and he was a Cutco knife salesman. And he was saying they have a push for everyone to, they have a little push that if you can make $20,000 in this 2-week period, then you get this huge bonus or something. Like it's breaking a record. So he was like, I've never done that. And it was a lot higher than he had ever done, but he really, really wanted to do it. And he was trying to figure out how. So he made these 2 affirmations that were like, I will relentlessly go for this and there's no other option. Then he combined them into one affirmation and it said, I am committed to maintaining faith that I will sell $20,000 in the push and putting forth extraordinary effort until I do. No matter what, there is no other option. And that just became his mantra. And he said it and said it and said it and said it. And he was so far behind his goal. But then as it got closer, he just had this belief like this is going to happen no matter what. This is just going to happen. There's no way that it can't. And knowing that even if he fell short, he would be so much farther than if he never tried. So he was like, I didn't want to miss this goal. This was a huge goal, but I also knew I could. So what if I wasn't putting in enough effort to do it when I knew it was possible? So it's really cool because he talks about how anybody who's gone before you and done something like who has hit diamond in this amount of time or gone 5-star in this amount of time or any of those things, like we know it's possible because they did it. So, but that means a lot more is possible than what people have done already. And so it's just us tapping into that belief. Anyway, okay, I just want to share that thought with you because that's been on my mind all day. So what Lauren and I want to talk to you guys about tonight is confidence and hopefully you guys got onto the Rising Stars, the Q1 push call today. If you haven't, it's a good one to watch because they talked about recruiting and inviting people to coaching. And they hit on confidence in the invite several times, but we just want you guys to feel confident in that because it changes from your invite being like, hey, I got this group and I love it. Is that something you want to do? If not, no problem. Have a good day. That's how I always used to say it was, if not, it's okay. Like with already giving them a way out before they even had a chance to respond. And if people are going to say no, they're going to say no, or they're going to ghost you. But let's not assume that they're going to say no. Let's just assume that they need this in their life because most people do. And if you're thinking about, okay, this is done, I have to get kind of into the mindset before I send out my invites every day of what has this done for me, whether it's coaching invites or group invites, what has being in these groups done for me? And what can it do for these other people? And then it's a lot easier to send those invites with confidence because I know how blessed my life has been. And it's not just something I'm checking off my business activity tracker every day. I'm going to bless somebody's life who really needs this, like I really needed it. And it just comes off in a different way. And I feel like people can totally feel that when your energy is high and excited and passionate about what you're doing rather than timid. Lauren, any input in that?
Yeah. So today while I was at work, I was listening to this podcast by Angie Lee, and she talked about she talks a lot about this, and I thought this was so interesting because I'm also reading The Miracle Equation, and I love how he talks about we all need a push goal, and it doesn't mean if you don't hit your push goal that you aren't a winner or that you're a failure or anything like that. It means that it is possible. It is potential. You could push yourself to hit that. But think about if you didn't create a push goal, will you push yourself as far as you can possibly go, right? But on this podcast today with Angie Lee, she talked about a lot about hitting people's pain points and listening to what they're talking about and thinking about your own pain points. And like Erin talked about, what caused you to want this? Why did this appeal to you? And how is it changing your life? But having that confidence, when you tell people, and when you tell them in your stories and you say it in your posts, you're directing it to one person, whether it's the person that you're that girl, my friend, Sarah needs this so bad. And I'm going to talk this out to her. You are seeing her in your face when you're talking, or maybe it's you a year ago or 6 months ago, you're writing a letter or telling yourself this. When you can do that with passion and fire in your soul, you're not trying to sell anything. You're just so dang confident that this worked for you that it will work for them if they apply themselves. So again, I like what Erin said, don't give yourself an out. Never do it. Do an assumptive close because you're assuming that these are going to work for them like they did for you. And so she talked a lot about, making sure that you have that belief in you when you get on there and you talk to people. Again, whether it's in your stories, it's in your posts, it's in an email that you're putting out, in a video you're making, you need to know that that is what they need to hear. You are saying that from them. And I think that makes a huge difference when you can talk from your heart. And I'm a big proponent of voice messaging, because when you voice message, people can hear that inflection in your voice. They can hear your excitement. They're going to read, even though you may put excitement in your message that you type up, they're going to read it as they read it in their head. They're not going to know oh my gosh, she really does love it. She really has made a difference. So that's another thing to think about when you're messaging people. They can hear that excitement. They can hear that smile that you have. So, think about what it is that they need to hear and be that voice of reason. And that's going to direct people that are more you, right? You're not trying to hit this broad range of all kinds of different people. You're hitting the people that they're going to be oh my gosh, that sounds like me. She could be my best friend. Does that make sense? So yeah, I think that makes a huge difference.
Okay. Another thing I want to tell you guys is we, as leaders of you guys, we 100% believe in you. And one of the other things that Hal Elrod talks about is how he wishes that we could see ourselves. We could see the potential in ourselves that other people can see in us, or just be able to tap into that a little bit. And I don't remember who it was who said on a call, sometimes you have to borrow confidence from your future self. I think it was on that vision call. She said, sometimes you have to just borrow that confidence, pretend you're already at that goal and then talk with the confidence that you are at that point. When you hit the $1 Million Club or whatever it is, you speak with that kind of confidence. And that was really cool to me to think of borrowing that confidence, because you see the top coaches who are just so very unapologetic about who they are. They don't filter themselves on their story because they are just very this is who I am. And I find myself still doing sometimes things that are not quite I'll bleep out that from my stories, or I'll change something or in my post, and it's not really true to who I am. And I feel like people know that, people can sense that. And that's just part of confidence, just believing it enough in who you are that you can show up just as yourself. And every single one of you guys, We know you've got it. We know you have all that in you. I see so many good things for all of you guys. I hope that you guys can kind of tap into that a little bit and give yourselves the credit that we feel like you deserve.
Yeah, and I would echo, like, you need to find the things that help you feel confident in what you do, and to find that confidence and like dig into it when you're about to do your invites and about to go on your stories. Like, so, you know, like everybody has something different that's going to make them feel good about them. Like, couple things that I have. So I have some tried and true podcasts that I know every time I'm going to listen to them, they're fire. There's books that if I'm like really struggling with something, like I can listen to it and just lights me up. I have a couple playlists. Like I have one playlist that's like a chill, like I'm kind of in the groove. I also have a playlist that's like, okay, light me up, like let's dance. Sometimes I just get up and I move, and you can do that and just like get into the groove and like feel a good song, play with your kids and jump around or something, because that sparks that excitement in you. And when you feel good about yourself, that exudes out on other people. And so I've seen all of your guys' posts. I love watching all you guys' stuff. Like you have it in you. You just have to share that with others, and you'll find your people. It takes some time, but just keep practicing on being yourself. Those are the people that come to you when you are yourself. I mean, seriously, you look at some of these coaches and they're like, some throw the F-bombs, some, they talk about struggles they're having. Like they're okay because they're like, this is who I am. And so sometimes they resonate to you and sometimes they don't, which is, like Erin and I clearly connected with Micah than we did other coaches. There's other top coaches that really inspire me. There's other ones that I'm like, you've got some really good content. You're just not my type of person, right? Doesn't make them different. It just means they're for somebody else. So you'll find your people, but when you're true to yourself, that's when you shine.
Yes. So another thing I want to mention to you guys is just consistency. Showing up every single day in your stories, at least 5 stories a day. And this is on your business activity tracker. So if you're following that, you're doing good. But at least 1 post per day. Just show people that you're here, what you're doing, and not just Beachbody stuff. Like show meals, show recipes, show PD, I feel like people really like the personal development stuff, any of the motivational quotes and things. People also on my page really like when I just do a dumb joke, like, or if I just do one of those little quotes that is funny, people really respond to those. I asked the other day on my page, I said, hey, settle something for me and hubby. What's the best way to get rid of hiccups? 120 comments, you guys. Like just show up on there showing that you're a normal person. Like things that have nothing to do with coaching are going to get more interaction. Things that have nothing to do with working out are going to get more interaction. So show people that you're still a person. Yeah. Give people, like, if you have 10,000 followers, link up to your, to Amazon things or whatever else, but share those things. Even if you don't, you can say, hey, I got this from Amazon. This is what it is. I love this. Talk about the products that you use and that you love. Tag other stories or other people on Instagram and in your posts. If you're using somebody's stuff, like I've tagged one of the acai powder yesterday when I did a acai bowl picture, and I tagged the company and they messaged me and said, hey, can we use this as one of our posts? And it's nice to just get you featured other places too. Just remember that when you're posting, if you're wearing Nikes, tag Nike. Not that Nike is necessarily going to come and use your picture because they have 5 billion people doing it. But I mean, just have that in your head to tag other people and to show up consistently as a human, not just as a wellness coach, because we're still people. I know sometimes when I haven't posted that day yet, I'm like, crap, what am I going to share? And I share my workout or I share something. But honestly, people like to know that you're doing your workout. And I feel like that's what stories are for. And I show my workout like once every 2 weeks, I'll show a workout clip or something on my page. But I mostly keep it in my stories. People know I'm working out because I show like my tank in my workout room and stuff like that. But it's not something that you need to show your workouts every day on your page. I don't feel like, at least. everyone's different.
Yeah, everyone's definitely different. And I think like people like, for me, they comment all the time. They're like, I love seeing your workouts, which is crazy, right? But like, I love seeing Erin's stories when she's talking about like stuff with her hubby, and I love seeing her kids on there. I get comments all the time about my dog, so I have to show my dog more. I have gotten into this kind of like little bit of a niche with these teenagers and tweens and kind of talking about that, and people comment all the time about that kind of stuff. So, you know, when you share your life and you share like what you're dealing with, or like, I'll tell you, I get the best comments too, like when I'm on my stories and Jeff gets on there and he like mocks me or like makes fun of me, or like people think that's hilarious, because that's us in real life. Like, we speak sarcasm in this house really thick. And so when people can see that, they're like, oh my gosh, I love you guys. So when they see that, that's, you know, that's good. And being consistent, I think, not only on your tracker, because remember, it's, you know, it builds on each other. When you can fill this out every day and check off all your boxes, you may not see results right away. This is just like when you start working out. This is just like when you start getting a challenger started, right? They didn't gain the weight in a week. It took them a while. It's going to take them a while to get it off. It's the same way with your tracker. Take the time, be consistent, do it just like you're doing your workout, just like you're doing your meal planning, just like you're eating right. And eventually the weight will come off, and eventually you'll tone up and you'll feel better. Your momentum will build. And when you build your momentum, when you stop doing this, it's just like you went down and you binged eat over the holidays for 2 months, right? Like, it takes a while to build it back up. So, and I'm just going to say from experience, I've had good momentum and I've lost it, and I've done it. It's tough. So stay consistent with it, because it makes a huge difference in your business, you guys. And when you show up, people that are watching you now, they may not buy from you right now. I have people sometimes that come out of the woodwork and they'll be like, okay, I'm ready. And I was like, wow, I haven't even seen you around for, you know, a while. I didn't even know you were still watching me. They come out of the woodwork because they see that you are consistent, that you're doing this, that your life is being blessed, that this is all that's happening for you. So consistency is huge, and it breeds confidence. So when you're consistent with what you're doing, we're going back to what we talked about in the beginning. Micah said that so long ago when I started, and that has just always stuck in my head. Consistency breeds confidence. The more you do it, the better you get. And I always think about that with bar, because the first week I did bar, like when we did the sample, I was like, I'm never going to make it through this. This is harder than I ever thought it would be. I didn't give it any credit. I'm like, I'm so awkward. These moves are not, I would way rather do the work than this. Weights are my jam. And I was just posting in my stories. I'm like, look, Maddie, I look like a ballerina. Now she laughed because I clearly do not, and she's a dancer. But yeah, I feel like I can at least move without falling down and falling on my face. So that just goes to show you that consistency is key.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want you guys to know that I am very grateful for you for jumping on tonight. I know you guys are busy. I don't have much else to say to you guys. I think that we just wanted to keep it short. We know that you guys have plenty of things to do, but make sure you guys aren't skipping the invites, because I know that that's something that's like the easiest thing to skip, because it's the most daunting, I guess, to most people. And if you just invite every single day, people will keep coming in. But if you wait and then and I've done this plenty of times where I'm like, I'll just do a blitz every week. And then it turns into like a half blitz, or every 2 weeks. Like, I've done this, and it's not fun. It's not fun for anyone. And I feel like people can sense when I'm not saying invite blitzes are bad. It's just, if you're consistently inviting people and connecting with them, then I feel like your business will just go better. Whether you're trying to just pay for your product or you're trying to build $1 million business, you just need to be consistent either way. Treat it like the $1 million business right now.
Can I add to that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Sorry, I look like
you're fine.
A crazy person. So I did transformation post yesterday. And just a second, bud. And I had like been trying to consistently invite each day, but Ezra, please. But oh my gosh, sorry. But I haven't been like the best at adding to my funnel. And so I feel like my people that I was inviting was kind of like running out, and I was like inviting just like the same people all the time, which is fine. But just posting that transformation picture of mine, I got like way more people like it that I hadn't invited before. And so I guess that's just like one thing to add. Like if you're feeling like you don't have enough people to invite, then just like show that you've gotten results. And they always say like have a transformation picture in your like top 9 squares or whatever. And so I've been trying to be better at that because I wasn't very good at that. Oh, it's driving me nuts.
Run away.
And like it doesn't have to be physical transformation either. Like it could be anything. But that's just like something, and Erin tells me this all the time, like when like a transformation picture, and Mike says it a lot too, is like gets a lot of traction usually if it's something that like you like that has changed for you. And I was like on a power hour with Summer the other day, her name is, I don't know if any of y'all were on there, but, and she shared her slides, which were really awesome, but she just was talking about, she had us do like this exercise where we wrote on one side of a paper how we were before our first challenge group and how we are now, and how we were before coaching and how we are now. And so I just like I've like been keeping that in my mind as I've been doing my invites and like thinking about the people that I'm inviting and that I'm talking with, and just saying like, trying to relate to them. Like I just didn't have any energy, and I was always wanting to nap during Ezra's nap time or whatever, because like all moms is like, I don't have any energy. And I'm like, now I don't even need a nap, and I'm able to like do all these things. So, and those were my two of my things on my list. So if you haven't like tried that, I would like recommend it. Sorry, I don't want to like go on forever, but I feel like that's really been helping me be more like genuine in my invites, especially as I'm like, I like sat for like 2 hours today and just invited from that post. And I didn't like copy and paste the same one. That's why it took me so long, because I was like changing it up. But yeah, that was my 2 cents. So.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you. That's a good reminder too, because I used to always do a Transformation Tuesday and a Throwback Thursday back when we were posting multiple times a day, every day. But I haven't been consistent with having like one day a week that is my transformation day. And so I need to do that. I need to make Tuesdays again my transformation day, so that I'm always doing something that's in the top 9, you know?
And I always think like finding posts of like the other day I posted Erin's transformation. Just in the couple weeks we've been doing the Ultimate Reset, like utilize our posts or our stories that are up there. Like that's why they're there. Like show that other people are getting results too. And it doesn't have to be your team, because we all, even though we're on separate teams, we are all one group of women making a difference every single day and impacting lives. So, you know, share what's working for us, and share that you can say, you know, Erin's was a working mom and ended up getting to stay at home. Like even share about like how coaching's changed her life. And, you know, I think I've seen other people like, people do like transformations of like their skin or their smile. Like sometimes you can even see like some of my early pictures, like I was smiling, but I wasn't like smiling like I do now. Does that make sense? You
like with your eyes and everything, like you see the difference, the light now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One that I bring up a lot is like a transformation that my daughter told me that I had. I didn't even see it at the time, and she was able to see it. So I think, you know, we could totally do that. Yeah, I think we could, Kalani. I think that would be amazing, because when you share that, it just makes a huge difference. Because I'll have people come back and be like, holy cow, how did she do that? You know what I mean? I'm like, she just used the tools that we have, like, you know, so yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I started a Coach Stories document that I sent to Threads and said, hey, everyone just put your little transformation, and it can be whatever kind, financial, mental, emotional, physical, whatever. And me and Kaylani, and I think one other coach, are the only ones who did it. I know that people just
forgot.
But everyone forgets, and that's fine. So I'll send it through again, and I'll send it to Lauren, and so everyone can have a chance to then we'll just have them all saved on a document, and then you can go and borrow one of those to post on your page. Because I think that is really important, and to tell people, because not everyone is going to want to be a stay-at-home mom. So I could share Megan's story, because Megan doesn't want to stop working. She loves her job. She wants to keep being a nurse practitioner, but she also is doing coaching, which pays for her products, gets an extra little money in her, spending money or whatever. And so it's good to use those kind of a thing. Different people's stories, like Kaylani was always staying at home from the time she had the baby, but she needed a little bit more coming in. And so coaching is giving that to her. Or, there's so many, everybody has different stories. You can share even Micah's, like, girlfriend just went and bought a friggin' Cadillac SUV and paid cash for it. Like, yeah, like it's good to share all the different stories, because everyone's at a different stage. A lot of people are full-time working moms, and it's just good to share. So get into the habit of doing that too. Maybe we should make that like a day of the week. Like maybe that's your Tuesday transformation. You either share yours or somebody else's transformation, like a side-by-side picture, and share their story. And when you post it, put it in the threads so we can all go support you.
Absolutely. That'd be awesome. Do you guys have any questions for us?
How awesome your husbands are.
Oh, I don't know if you can hear Jeff in the background. He's like, talk about how awesome your husbands are. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, if Seth was nearby, that's what he'd be saying too. You want me to come flex for it? Whatever.
Hi, Seth.
He's doing dishes.
Okay.
And Jeff's in the kitchen too.
Oh, well done.
Or
Good
they
husband.
belong.
You guys, I'm not kidding. Go on the trips.
Scott's playing
Go on the
basketball.
trips. What's
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Scott's playing basketball.
Oh, well,
Oh.
there's that. Save the dishes for him.
Wow. I already did them.
I know. I figured you would.
Well, Erin talked about the trips, you guys. The trips, like, make sure you're on the opt-out list for Riviera Maya for 2021.
Yes.
The trips make the difference, you guys. Like 100%. If you can get a spouse or a partner to those events, they not only change your life, but it changes it for them too.
Yeah.
And I think Erin and our stories are similar. Not that Seth and Jeff didn't support us, but when they saw what could become, and listening to our top leaders and our, executive team and stuff like that, it's like eye-opening. When I took my kids on the Beachbody trip, like they were like, holy cow, Mom, like you earned this. And I'm like, yes. And that makes a huge difference. Like they can see then why I work and why I stay up late and I work and do what I do. Like your spouse can understand it more. They can see the value of what you're doing and get behind the belief.
Seth was like in Mexico. He was sitting there listening to like Carl Deichler and Jeff Hill and Michael Neiman. He was sitting there listening to him, and he's like, I love their passion and their energy and just how much they want to change the world, not just Beachbody people. They want to change the world and make it a healthier, happier place. And it's just really cool to see our corporate team and how energized they are about that. And not only that, but Seth just seeing the Riviera Maya, like we're in this 5-star all-inclusive and they book out 2 freaking resorts. And he's like, oh, this is legit. This company's not going anywhere. Before he was like, Beachbody. Yeah, sure. Beachbody. They have Tony. They have, yeah, cool. Shanti. But once he saw what they're able to do, and that they're bringing in, they brought in a circus one night. They brought in American Ninja Warrior one night for us. Like they did all these things. And he's like, okay, this company's here for the long haul. He's like, I get it. Okay. They've been here over 20 years. They're staying around. It's just really cool. You got to get there. You got to be a part of it. And then husbands meet and they become buddies too. And then they're really excited for the trips to see the other husbands and hang out. On our cruise last year, all the husbands were making fun of us how we pose. We're like, take a picture, because they're taking pictures of the girls the whole trip, like the workouts, everything. They're being the Instagram husbands taking all the pictures. And so all the husbands started posing together and doing little silly things. And we got some funny pictures of the husbands. Anyway, it's so fun. Megan's being Kaylani's husband on this trip. Yay!
Yay! That's awesome. I love it.
Yep. It's going to be great. All of you guys are going to be into the 2021 Riviera Maya.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
You have to get
Did
there,
you all put your
honestly.
name on the opt-in list? Yes? Hopefully. Everyone did? Yeah? Good.
Donna, I'll send you the link.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for hopping on. We appreciate you guys. All right. I'll
Guys,
send that Coach Stories document.
perfect.
Okay, see you
All
guys.
right, thanks, guys. Bye.